is Riicch. Like that's your artist name is just Riicch, right?
Yeah.
But then on Instagram you're OVO Riicch. So then what's the situation?
So the OVO Riicch ties into just my affiliation, right?
Yeah.
And that name was made before I was an artist. So I grew up in Scarborough area, so Markham and Ellesmere. I was there for about 10 years, and then we moved to McCown and Shepherd area, so that's like the Pitfield area there. And that's where I spent most of my teens and young adult life. Definitely Markham and Ellesmere, that area. Okay. Yeah, those are my best memories.
What are some of the best memories growing up there?
Like just like loyalty, a lot of things my parents taught me, and I was always by my brother's side. So he used to constantly, like his morals, just have them hammered into my head and stuff. So the way he operated and did things, I just lived by kind of that code of loyalty and stuff. My logo's literally to honor him, right? His nickname.
Dope. So talk about that 50 World thing then. Like what is it, first of all? Is it a label?
So no, it might be my label one day, if we take it that far, but that's like 50 World is like, my brother's very hard headed and tunnel vision. So we'd always say, 50's where it's his world. Okay. So that's where that idea comes from.
What are some of the worst parts? We were talking about some of the best parts. What are some of the worst parts growing up there?
Of course, the street life, and living in an area where there's a lot of things going on. It's hard to resist and stay clean and just not do bad things. And that was the worst part. But again, my brother was such a good brother, kept me cocooned away from that bullshit. So I'm here now shining.
So he was kind of like a leader.
Yes, very. And that's another thing. Back to you asked what was the most important things. Those things teaching me how to be a leader and be ready to not be without him, A lot when you're younger, you don't know better, and you're around friends and you're just in that area. Sometimes it feels like you're living in the hood and that's the world, which is not a case, you know what I mean? And, it's easy to get twined up with friends who are doing stuff and then they don't like that block because the ops are there and you just get connected through it and it follows you. So
True. It's
tough. And then you feel like you have to do it, because everyone else is doing it, which is not the case. You don't have to.
Do you find now that being an OVO, you have to make an extra effort to avoid that kind of thing?
Yeah, I've always been
the platform and everything.
Exactly, especially because of that. And I've always been like that. Like my brother was in the streets, so he didn't have me places I didn't have to be or in situations that I didn't have to be in, So I've always been like militant and like don't be where I don't have to be. So
so that's kind of like an understanding that he taught you.
Exactly.
Like coming up there and shit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about like your brother being on the album cover for Dark Lane demo tapes.
Yeah, so he didn't tell me that he was going to do that prior. So, but I liked that because when he posted, I was like, dang, like I was so, at the time when he posted, I didn't even see him. And my friends started DMing me. They're like, yo, you put your brother on the cover. So right away I showed my mom and we were so honored and so happy, especially when he did it during such a dark time and everyone's on lockdown. It's like, that's my biggest fear, that my brother will be forgotten. He won't be forgotten in our family, but so to do that and keep his memory alive, it meant a lot, like that's mentally, dope. Everything.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope. And that was like an interesting tape too from Drake because he was like trying a bunch of new things and like
yes.
So that's kind of cool that, like, I think that's an honor to like be on something that like he's trying new shit.
Yeah.
And he's like putting your brother on there.
Yeah, my brother on it, and then he had the ski mask, which is my brother's thing, right?
So, okay, true.
Yeah, and the tape again, it had like a dark vibe. Yeah. And that's kind of my vibe, you know what I mean? So I fucks with it.
You were also into basketball as a youth.
Yeah, so basketball runs in my family. My brother plays it, I play it, so that's something I did a lot. And when he passed away, I could like a part of me was buried too. So I just stopped, and then for a while I wasn't playing, and then Drake's like, yo, look, we're gonna have a league at my house. And I was like, I heard about it, but I didn't ask or anything. Then when he posted the schedule, I saw that I was in it, and I had my old name is like Underdog Riicch. I felt like an underdog playing basketball. So I'm like, dang, give me a team called Underdog. So I just went with it. And then playing, finding passion and stuff, I'm like, dang, like there's still some in the gas tank. So now during the first lockdown, I was playing a lot in my free time and just getting back in tune with the game.
Okay, that's dope.
Made me realize, what the hell did I take it off for, But again, me and my brother used to compete a lot. We used to butt heads a lot. So that's a special bond we had.
Yeah. So naturally you would want to, I guess, honor that almost. Right?
Exactly. Now I realize, don't quit. I gotta honor that. That's
Yeah.
the one thing out of all this madness he'd want me to do.
True.
So
Just keep doing what you were doing, I guess.
you
Right?
can stay true to myself.
Yeah. That's dope, man. So then you were in the season that already happened, that there was like a championship ring for.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my first season.
Okay. So how did it fare?
It was tough in the beginning. One, I was out of shape badly.
Okay, true. Because that's when you were just coming back.
Yeah. So like they're like laughing at me. They're like, "What's wrong with you?" And then the couple guys in the league that knew I was good, they're like, "What happened? Like you're washed up." So I started like putting up my shops when I could. At the time, it was still cold. It was like this time last year, so it was hard to like go somewhere and practice if I wasn't there at his house. So but over the months, over the weeks, I started finding myself back, and then right before the lockdown, I had a good game, and then we went on lockdown. So, but playoffs, I came back strong. We just didn't make it out the first round. But chemistry, nothing is overnight.
Yeah.
So we'll
Facts.
find.
So then you're building with your team, kind of thing. Like
yeah, we'll find our way. We have a future in that league, definitely. Yeah, it's dope, and they're making us feel like we're in the NBA. Kind of, it's crazy.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So that happens at his crib.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, 2 to 3 times a week sometimes.
Damn.
Yeah.
Just games happening, and then that's where people practice too, is there?
Yeah, we practice, and yeah, it's dope. Like that's very inspirational because for a guy, you know what I mean, he's making time to make a league and us to have uniforms, and he could be doing other stuff.
Yeah.
And he's making time. Like he lives in love with basketball, so that's pretty dope, inspiring.
There's so many narratives about Drake you can never really say, but he's actually a guy that like cares about the people that he came up around.
Yeah, exactly. We're like all a family, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty dope.
So then how did the death of your brother, I guess, impact the whole group?
It was a big loss, you know, and they were tight for a long time. So, you know what I mean? We don't talk about it. We like it's just something tough, sensitive that we don't just sit down in a group and talk about it. We know what Anthony would want, so there's nothing to be spoken on.
Yeah, it's just everyone's still the crew. Everyone's doing their things. So.
Yeah, but it didn't break anybody up or anything. Yeah, we're strong and we're closer. Me and Drake are actually closer now than we were before. So
true. That's dope, man. I guess that's, if anything were to come out of that situation, that's what you would want, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. We already kind of touched on like you staying out of the politics kind of thing, but what do you think about this whole academics Adam 22 interest that's happening right now in Toronto scene?
Yeah, you see, that's good because we're getting a platform.
Yeah.
But the fighting and putting guys who aren't cool with other guys and that, and then it's starting problems. You know what I mean? And I know he's aware of that, so I don't really like that part of it.
Yeah.
I think he's just using us to boost his platform, and we got to be smarter and not go at each other and entertain it. You know what I mean? And just be on some good shit. He's aware. He says he doesn't have the list, but I think he's aware. That's not the way to do it, right? Like, and I think we got to more, like in ATL, like artists are helping each other. We got to get on that vibe here because there's so much talent here right now. Like I see it every day, and it's like we got to work together instead of working against. Yeah,
man. Everyone would just glow up right away.
Yeah,
I feel like
a lot faster.
There's so much talent out here. So many guys have been out here for so long too. Like
exactly,
they're staples in the city now. Like
and they should be like more popping than they are, and it's like, you know.
Well, even when you think like the guys in New York that are kind of like the Frenches or whatever, like the people that are popping here, they're popping worldwide as well.
Yeah,
because everyone knows about that, like those artists.
Yeah, it seems like here,
foreign and shit, like.
Yeah, and then, like it seems like here you have to get popular here or something, or break through that force field here before, or sometimes it feels like you have to be known outside of the city, outside of the country, and then they'll accept you here, which is backwards.
Yeah, that's kind of it shouldn't be that way. Yeah.
It should not be.
Yeah, I think it's just there's a lot of growth to do. But do you think maybe at least there's a new shine on the city a little bit, maybe with this academics thing? Do you think that like Americans are going to be able to digest what's going on? Because it's so different.
Yeah, and if they can't, they're going to have to live with it because we're on the rise and we're here, you know? So, yeah.
That's true. And everyone hates on every new thing too. Like remember Uzi, everyone was shitting on Uzi so much.
Yeah, and look at him now, right? So that's how it usually goes. What we don't understand as human beings or or we don't know, we don't like that,
Mm.
you know, or the success of that. And then it's like, once everyone's with it, the society would like, everyone likes it. Okay, let's jump on the wave now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the world we're living in now.
Yeah. So let's get into some stuff about your music.
Mm.
So I heard some of your tracks and they're pretty vibey, but how would you describe, I guess, your style? For someone
Like,
that hasn't heard it.
like monotone, like laid back, like,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like I'll make some club records in the future, but my demeanor is like my brother. I'd like to like express myself that way
True.
and just be like, you know, just level headed,
Yeah.
come off as that and not excitement really.
Yeah, just sort of.
And not like all this capping and talking shit, like, you know what I mean? What I'm going through in my life is what my music is. I know it's cliche and a lot of artists say that,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's literally what my style is. And I fucks with R&B. There'll be a couple R&B records out
Yeah.
there too.
Well, you got the melodic sound, so you could tell that you can go that way.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you want to accomplish through doing music?
Like just express myself and immortalize my brother, you know? And then also motivate other people who've been like in my situation or worse to know that, yo, you don't have to get into the street life. You can do something positive after it. And you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to go that route. Even if you haven't even been in my situation, just you could be like, just pick up a mic, or just, it's not even about music. Like pick up a basketball, soccer ball, or,
Yeah.
you know, you don't have to do badness. It doesn't have to come to that.
Who are some of the people you want to collab with?
There's a lot of Toronto artists. There's like 3 on my list. I don't want to mention names, but one that stands out to me is Notify. I
Okay.
really like his style.
Notify. He had a big record last year, I think, or the year before with. It was on Flow all the time.
Yeah.
Won't Get Lonely.
Won't Get Lonely. It's
Yeah.
really good. I like his style.
How do you feel? I guess are you getting paid for features?
It's just crazy how life, you could be living one life and then a couple months later, and that's dope. You know, I'm in love with music, right? And it's business is business, but that's pretty dope, man.
Yeah.
To be this early in my career and that's already
Yeah,
happening.
do it.
For people to be DMing me and they're like, yo, I'd love to do a feature or whatever, that's dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I guess they just got to see the results, right? So when did you start seeing that? Was it like after, because you got a track War or something? Well, there was like one of your biggest tracks on Spotify.
oh, Gas. Yeah, so
was it after Gas or?
it was before I even released the record.
Yeah.
When I said I was gonna be doing music,
Yeah.
people were just like, yo, Dan, like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm not really open to doing features unless I really fucks with someone, but like for now I'm just trying to develop. That's the main goal in the next couple years, next 2 years, development.
Okay.
Yeah, because like every time I go into the studio, I feel like I'm getting better. And if you pay attention to my videos, you could see the growth.
Mm-hmm.
So I want my growing fan base just to come along with me and just grow.
So then what are your future projects you got coming up?
I'm gonna drop an EP this year.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe middle of the year or end. I don't know. It was originally supposed to come out last year, December, but COVID and stuff will change things and gives you time to think and add new records. So
Yeah.
that's probably what I'm gonna be on this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope. So,
And more collaborations with artists. I haven't really done a feature with an artist in the city or anyone yet.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
True.
so-
So you're trying to get more involved in the scene.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
More involved.
Did COVID like give you a chance? Like, did you realize that COVID like really gave you a chance to work on music?
Yeah, at first I didn't like it, but you know what I mean? Everything happens for a reason. And I just took that time to develop writing constantly, you know, so
Yeah.
it was a blessing in disguise.
Your name is Riicch. Like that's your artist name is just Riicch, right?
Yeah.
But then on Instagram you're OVO Riicch. So then how
Yeah.
did what's the situation there?
So the OVO Riicch ties into just my affiliation, right?
Yeah.
And that name was made before I was an artist. I didn't think it would come to this, so I could understand a lot of people think I'm signed, but I'm not. I'm like a friend of Drake's, and you know what? When it comes to me and my brother, we don't need our signature on a piece of paper to define loyalty
Yeah.
or anything, you know. That's my brother, all those guys, and that's how it's always going to be.
So then how did you originally I guess get close to Drake, and how did that whole thing happen?
So to my knowledge, me and my brother talked about it one time. He was telling me P Rain was shooting a video in my hood.
Okay.
So they actually had came through and they were talking to my brother and stuff, and then Drake pulled up, and then that's when I first met him. But then kind of when my brother passed away, I've always been around him like for like over like 8-10 years.
Yeah.
But then when my brother passed away, he kind of pulled me in closer and he's like, hey, I'm here for you, you know? So I really appreciated that because he didn't have to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of pulled me in under his wing and he's watching over me. He's got my back.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's dope. So that was how you originally met Drake.
Yeah, was through my brother.
It was through the P Rain and then your brother.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was a dope day, man. That video shoot was tough still.
Yeah, he's dope. Yeah, P Rain is dope. Because I think that's the stereotype, is that like, oh, Drake just like hired all these guys or something. Or,
No,
like,
they're
you know,
friends.
Like it's old. Like
They're childhood friends.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it's on that kind of tip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's, to me, is the best way to do it, you know?
Yeah.
Guys, I hear people, girls and guys, they fall out over the littlest thing. And like, yo, when growing a tree or growing something, like, things are going to happen, but you stick together. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. What up? It's Riicch on Underground Legends. On my come up, keep your eyes on me like a microscope.